You ask an AI for a quick answer. The sentences arrive clean, confident, and neatly connected. You copy one line into a message, then pause because a tiny detail feels too smooth. Later, you discover that detail was wrong. That is the paradox. The language sounded like understanding, while the facts quietly drifted. The first clue is uncomfortable. AI does not need to be guessing wildly to mislead you. It can be wrong in a very organized way. The common answer is that AI is basically a next-word machine. If you ask why a household sponge smells, it does not open a tiny science lab. It predicts words that usually follow similar questions, from patterns learned in text. That explanation feels fair because the output often resembles the internet, helpful phrases, familiar facts, and confident myths living side by side. It makes a clear prediction. AI should sound wrong when its training patterns are wrong, thin, or full of repeated misconceptions. That popular answer has real force. In the Truthful QA study from 2022, researchers tested models on questions built around common human falsehoods, including health, law, finance, and politics. The best model was truthful on a little over half the questions, far behind humans, and many wrong answers echoed familiar misconceptions. So yes, imitation can preserve the shape of a bad idea. A 2024 empirical study by Lee and colleagues pushed the point across several domains, using thousands of questions to measure factual hallucination. Errors varied by model and topic, but unfamiliar knowledge was linked with more hallucination, and retrieval generally reduced errors. That changes the expectation. The problem is not only that AI copies nonsense, it is also that factual reliability depends on what the model has seen, how it is prompted, and whether outside evidence is brought back into the answer. But the popular answer leaves a sharper problem on the table. If wrong answers mainly came from missing or polluted knowledge, then a model that has the answer should be safer. A 2025 computational study by Simhi and colleagues tested that assumption with open-weight language models. They first found questions the models could answer correctly, then changed the wording of prompts. Sometimes the same model produced a wrong answer with high internal certainty anyway. In human terms, that is not just an empty bookshelf. It is a shelf with the right book on it, while the assistant confidently grabs the wrong one. So the better question is, why does confidence survive the mistake? A better explanation starts with two machines running at once. One machine builds a plausible answer, the other, inside your head, judges how good that answer feels. Imagine a suit in a shop window. From the street, the jacket hangs perfectly, the tie matches, and the shoes are polished. You have not checked the stitching, but the outfit already says competent. AI language works like that. Fluency, structure, and certainty create a surface that our minds are tempted to treat as evidence. In a 2004 experiment by Price and Stone, students judged fictional financial advisors who gave probability forecasts. They consistently preferred the advisor who sounded more extreme and overconfident, even when that confidence was not well calibrated. That does not mean people are foolish. It means confidence is a shortcut. When AI delivers an answer with no stumbles, no hesitation, and a tidy explanation, that shortcut can fire before the facts have been inspected. The hidden variable is diagnostic friction, the amount of real checking the situation forces before you believe the answer. When friction is low, coherence carries the answer forward. When friction is high, the answer has to survive contact with evidence. A 2025 experiment by Kim and colleagues tested this by giving people difficult questions with AI answers that were sometimes right and sometimes wrong. Explanations made people agree more with both kinds of answer. But when incorrect answers came with sources alone, people did better than when a smooth explanation carried the mistake. That extra document was not magic. It simply gave the reader something outside the prose to compare against. Inconsistencies inside wrong explanations also help people resist them. So the chain changes. Without friction, explanation becomes persuasion. With friction, explanation becomes something you can test. Imagine two people starting with the same AI answer about whether a rental lease can be ended early. Maya gets a polished paragraph, a confident summary, and a clause number that looks real. She forwards it to her roommate and plans around it. No part of the moment slows her down. Luis gets the same paragraph, but he opens the lease, checks the clause, and notices the number points to a section about parking. Now the fluency has a job interview to pass. Maya keeps the confident mistake. Luis finds the mismatch, asks a narrower follow-up, and ends with a less elegant answer that is actually usable. So the verdict is not that AI sounds right only because it predicts words. That explanation fits many failures, especially familiar misconceptions and weak knowledge areas. But it misses the human half of the event. AI sounds right when fluent generation meets low-friction judgment. In routine, checkable tasks, sources, uncertainty, and contradictions can help. In difficult questions with smooth explanations and no independent check, the same polish can increase over-reliance. The danger is not confidence by itself. It is confidence with nothing pushing back. That first clean answer is not a window into truth. It is a beautifully lit storefront. Sometimes the suit inside is real. Sometimes it is pinned together for display. The smarter move is not to stop looking. It is to step inside and check the stitching. All right, and that was today's curiosity from Hidden Axiom. We hope you enjoyed it, and if this video answered your question, leave a like, share your next question in the comments, and subscribe to keep discovering. Thank you for watching, and until next time, stay curious.